is this brief mortal life, if not the pursuit of legacy?
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Westeros. This is Mike. Justin, how are you?
I am doing well, dear sire.
All right, so don't adjust your speakers. I'm a little bit hoarse. Wound up with a little flu over the weekend, so I'm still recovering a bit. So I'm going to let Justin do most of the talking, I think.
Oh, please don't. I mean, they come for you, Mike. I'm just here to just stay hands, but you're the one with all the good stuff, all the history, the knowledge. But I'll try my best. I know it's not easy with that.
I do want to point out that I was wrong about something last week. I made a very big mistake, actually, in saying that Vhagar was born in Old Valyria. She wasn't. She was one of the first dragons born in Dragonstone. So I did. That was an error. It was Balerion who was the last dragon to see Old Valyria. So I'm not always correct.
But you know what? I love the fact that you're willing to admit when you're wrong and correct it. But I always call you though the encyclopedia because you are a living, breathing encyclopedia for the most part. So you could have had me fooled with that as well.
And so here we are at the penultimate episode. One episode left.
Oh man, don't say that, man.
All the Red Sowing, or as us gamers may say, all your bastards belong to us. All your bastards belong to us.
Oh my gosh, that's too funny. They sure do, man. And what an episode it was. You know, that was everything I thought of. You know what I mean? Especially just seeing dragons having a field day at the buffet, just eat up all these Targaryens, so what these Targaryens, flaming them up and snacking on them.
It was like going to Korean barbecue.
Yeah, exactly. Korean barbecue, indeed. It was. Oh man, it was priceless. I felt bad for some. I felt bad, but you know, Dragon's gonna do what Dragon's gonna do. You gotta, you know, if you don't got it, you don't got it, and they'll let you know. It reminds me like the Apollo. If you don't got it, the Apollo will boo you off, and them dragons will burn you up.
And Verminthor was not suffering any fools.
No,
it was like, yeah, no. Give me the good stuff. I'm not going for any of this. I'm not going for any of this cheap discount rack stuff.
Yeah, you can't fool him. I want the top of the line storyline steak.
But as per usual for the last few episodes, we started out in Harrenhal, and I got to say, I didn't hate this one.
I didn't hate. You know what? My boy. That's my boy, Mike. I don't know if you know, but that's my boy, Mike. Oscar Tully. I knew from day one when I first saw him. I said, that's my boy right there. And he proved himself to be one. That man had 10 toes down. He was standing on business. I hope I'm not jumping too far ahead of myself, but that was such a peak performance, a peak scene in my opinion. That reminded me of that was like Game of Thrones at its peak. That's what we got.
He was given real Lyanna Mormont vibes.
Oh, absolutely, yo. I would pay good money to see those two in a conversation with each other, like just stuck in a room with each other. That would have been really good because he had a lot of us fooled. I think with Lyanna, she was straightforward. And, you know, when you see him in the first episode, he's a little bit timid. He was a little whatnot. But that second scene when he came back, he put Daemon in his place. And he says, do you want our army or not? I was like, oh, no, he didn't. Yes, he did.
Having so little experience to guide me, my best course is to defer to the oath my grandsire swore to King Viserys when he named Rhaenyra his heir. I see no reason to cast aside loyalty, no matter how loathsome I may find her representative, the prince.
King, mind your tongue, boy.
Will you have our army or not?
Yeah, well, he realizes that he is, Lord Paramount of the River of the Trident, and he needs to be the leader of these people. And, before when he was just the heir, he could afford to be a little, supplicant because he was still under his grandfather's rule. But, now it is all on him. He is the Lord of Riverrun. He is the Lord Paramount of the Trident. He is in charge of all the Rivermen, and he needs to set the tone right from jump because they will, they're Rivermen. They will chew him up. But
absolutely,
he made it absolutely clear who is in charge.
He definitely made it clear to Daemon. I've been seeing a lot of memes talking about, seeing all these dragon riders taming the dragons, and they show a picture with Alicent with Daemon taming his dragon. I was cracking up. Put him in his place.
It was, and poor Sir William. He
I felt so bad for him.
Yeah, he Daemon was kind of like, well, yeah, this sucks, but I really kind of need those armies.
Them armies are looking really nice right now, man. I know you my boy. I know I told you to do all that stuff, and he was making it known. He's like, this did as my Lord command. And he'll say, man, you don't shut up with that, man. But he took him out. He cut off his head, and that just shows Daemon how desperate Daemon really is, and he got what he wanted now. But rest in peace to Sir Blackwood, man. That was my boy.
Yeah, I thought it was a real touching scene between Jaehaerys and Daemon. Dream sequence, flashback.
Oh yeah,
where he comes to his brother and he's on the bed and he's holding the crown and he's like in his like most decrepit state, and he starts talking about the crown and how he never wanted it, and how it crushes whoever wears it. I thought it was a really poignant moment, and he gives to Daemon and he's like, you've always wanted it. Do you still want it? And there was bit of hesitation in Daemon's face there.
I never wanted it. I was right not to. All that pain it caused. It crushes whoever wears it. You always wanted it, Daemon. Do you want it still?
Yeah, I think it's something that Daemon wanted basically his whole life. It's especially since the beginning of House of the Dragon. When at the beginning scene, when we first see Daemon, he's literally sitting on the Iron Throne. So this is a big passion you see throughout this season. When he's talking to Alice Rivers saying that he's going to take the Iron Throne, and if Rhaenyra wants to be there by his side, then she's more than welcome. So you see this, but we're at the same time, we're also seeing that Daemon's been tasked to do a few things that a king should do, and he's failing miserably at it. He's just so bad at it. And I think he's realizing that. And I think through these hallucinations and whatnot, we talked about it before, he's definitely having flashbacks with himself, with his true vulnerable self, his very intimate moments. And I think he's starting to realize what people have been saying, that, I think they said those that really want it they don't have no idea of the burden that it truly brings. And I think he's getting a little taste of that now. And getting a taste of what his brother went through, for someone who did not even want it. And I think that's kind of changing. We're seeing a little bit of a change with Daemon. So I'm very curious to see how he's going to act, how he's going to behave moving forward from this episode and beyond in regards to his pursuit for the Iron Throne, because I think that's very interesting. I also want to point out, too, once again, I love how poetic this show it truly is, because we always see parallels of this. Like, I'm thinking about, once again, with Daemon and Aemon, the two sides of one coin. We see a very similar scene of this, where they catch Aegon. Once, Viserys dies, they're looking for was it? I might get my scenes mixed up, but basically, he's drunk. Aegon's drunk, and they finally catch up to him. Christopher Crispy and Aemon. He said, "I don't want it. I don't want it." And he said it to Aemon, his younger brother, who desperately wants the Iron Throne. We see him already in action right now as the acting king of it. I just find that very interesting. The tale of two brothers, very similar situations. Aegon is very much even looking like his father right now, and how Aemon and Daemon are also very much alike.
Yeah, and it's been like kind of this theme that's been hitting Daemon, about like how, like, if you want it, you're not worthy of it. And, Alice basically said that to him,
Mm-hmm.
because when he was like, oh, Rhaenyra didn't want, my brother didn't want it, Rhaenyra didn't want it. And she's like, well, maybe that's why it came to them, and,
Yeah.
there's this constant idea among the people in the Seven Kingdoms that the Iron Throne chooses its ruler, and it can reject a ruler.
Oh yeah.
And so Daemon, I think this is like kind of weighing on him, and I think Oscar Tully like basically shows him what leadership is in a way. Not only the fact that, and I don't only mean the fact that he takes charge of that moment and basically cows all of the Riverlords and Daemon, but also the fact that he presents this thing to Daemon where it's like, if you want to lead, you want the armies, this is what you need to do. You need to betray this man who was loyal to you because there's a greater good.
Yeah.
So are you willing to sacrifice him, for your greater good? That's what leadership is. And, I mean, you could tell that it bothered Daemon. I mean, he's still, all right, Dark Sister, let's go. But he, you could tell that it weighed heavy on him. And then that's when he comes to that scene with his brother, and it's like, do you really want this?
Yeah. I feel like you just get a little taste of what true leadership truly is. And some of that's for you, because even Totally said it too. Like, you made a big mess of this, man. You made a big mess, and now basically we're gonna have to clean up. I'm gonna have to clean up your mess, but you're gonna help me clean up your own mess and whatnot like this. And I think David's starting to realize this and understand this, and understand once more that this might be a little more than I can chew. And I think this might help him out in terms of his relationship and dynamics with Rhaenyra, because he can now probably relate or connect to an extent what Rhaenyra is currently going through right now. Because Rhaenyra is going through something very similar. She's going through her own stuff right this in terms of fighting for her right's sake.
Yeah, well, I think Rhaenyra's really starting to feel herself right now, and
oh yeah,
not only has this thing that she's done worked, but it's kind of like you feel her, like it's like she starts wearing her crown and she starts acting like the queen.
Yes, she's making money moves, and this definitely is. I think with any move, it's always a risk. And it's always going to cost something. And we do see that later on, especially with her interaction with her son, Jace. But she's definitely making things happen now. But she called on all the illegitimate children that were Targaryens. And she said, let's raise an army of them. Let's make this happen. Especially when she saw Adam, and she figured out what Adam was, and Adam bit the knee to her. That really sparked something in her. I think it sparked a fight for her. And, I think overall, I think she's definitely stepping into her spot, her position as queen, and she's making things happen.
Yeah, she definitely is. She did not hesitate when she found out that Seasmoke had a rider to get on Syrax and go find out what was going on. And face this person who she didn't know, and and then all this, and then she's like. And man, Lord Lord, I got slapped in the face. What's his name? You know,
Oh
it's like,
yeah.
whoa, we need to arrest this thief. Like, dude, you don't steal a dragon. What are you even thinking right now, bro? You thinking that some dude strolled up to a dragon and just decided to take it? That's not how that works. It ain't your car,
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
This is, the dragon chooses you. You know, this is a different thing. And, so when she's like, yeah, no, he's going to be trained and he's going to learn how to ride, and somebody has to teach him High Valerian.
Yeah.
She's doing her own thing now.
And it's working for her. And that's why I love it. I'm worried, Mike, though. I said before, people I don't know, and I don't know spoilers, but I just know logic. And I know when it comes to logic in Game of Thrones lore, when something's too good to be true, I'm thinking about even with Daenerys, where she got all of her armies, she had the 3 grown dragons, she got, everything else working for her. It never works out for too long. So, like, I'm happy for Rhaenyra. I'm very, very, especially for being Team Black, very ecstatic, very happy for Rhaenyra. I was even doing some math. She got these 3 new dragons. Plus, let's see, her, Daemon is 2, her sons, and then her stepdaughter / Daemon's daughters. That's a whole host of dragons she got. And all right now, the Greens have is just what big baddie Vhagar, who I can't stand. That big mama beast of a dragon. Dreamfire and Sunfire, who I heard is still recovering. I heard Sunfire is not dead, so I don't I don't know how that's gonna come into play, but because he got burnt up like Chris. And of course, you hear reports of Daemon with his dragon.
With Darren, with Tessarion.
With Tessarion, yeah. So I'm just trying to figure out how is this gonna work out. I just feel something's gonna happen with Rhaenyra. I don't know what. Oh, and with what's her sheep? What's her name? Sheep
Stealer.
Sheep Stealer. So I think we haven't seen nothing. It's been played off throughout the whole first 2 seasons, but I think with this final episode, we're gonna see it's gonna do a big payoff with Rhaena. Possibly, we don't know. Claiming sheep stealer. It's just like all the pieces are just there. So I don't know. It hasn't been proven, but the way shows are, that's just how I'm just connecting that, and I think that would be really awesome. My question is now: is she gonna if she gets this dragon, is she gonna join onto the fray? Is she gonna join onto the battlefield to fight for Rhaenyra's cause, or she's gonna still do what Rhaenyra asked her to do and still be a mother? That remains to be seen, but. You got a big dragon. There's no way for you to be doing all that. You're gonna have to do some battles. So those are some of my thoughts and speculations on that. I'm still doing a lot of math, but again, like going back to what I was originally saying, though, I just don't expect. I mean, I'm happy and I'm rejoicing. I'm gonna rejoice for the next 2 years, but I definitely think season 3, some crazy stuff's gonna happen for Team Black. It's gonna make me cry. I don't know how or what, but it's gonna make me cry.
Yeah, and you hit a couple of points. I mean, if we do the matchup, if everybody's at full strength, things are pretty even because, Rhaenyra has dragons, but those dragons and their riders especially are inexperienced.
Absolutely.
I mean, Vermax is, obviously very experienced, and Verminthor is obviously very experienced and, very fierce. And, Hugh is not probably one to pull back. Hugh will probably dive right in.
He looks like the type to do that, yes.
Yeah. Silver Smoke's a pretty big dragon. Or Silver Wing, sorry, pretty big dragon. And so is Cyrax. So, on Team Green, I mean, right now it's basically Vhagar.
It's just Vhagar. And
Dreamfire, hell, they're not going to put Helena on a dragon in a battle.
They better not. That's the only person who I truly love and cherish on Team Green. And I saw that little trailer for a sneak peek. And how dare? First of all, I need to speak to Eamon real quick. Eamon, how dare you? How dare you put your sweet innocent sister and try to put her into the lines of fire because you're desperate? Shame on you. Shame. Okay, I'm sorry, but I just need to do that, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm tired of him. He gets on my nerves.
Tessarian is only taking a wing, so Tessarian's very inexperienced.
Yeah.
And Sunfire's 0-1, and and is on the injured reserve list now. So
yeah, absolutely.
Curled up in a volcano somewhere, trying to get better.
Working with a personal fitness assistant.
Working with a personal trainer, kind of working it out.
Taking it step by step, day by day. Oh
yeah.
Man,
just wants to get strong, just wants to get healthy, just wants to get back in the fight.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I think the Olympics are rubbing off on me in the wrong way.
You with the Olympics, me with the football. I'm just thinking about.
Dude, I sat there last night and I watched I'm not lying, the gold medal game, mixed doubles, table tennis. And I was so into it.
Oh. The fact that they have table tennis in the Olympics. Okay. But okay, you got me interested in starting watching that as well too now.
Dude, I was so into it. I first flipped it on and I was like, because they got sorry about this little sidebar, folks. They got this, on YouTube TV you can do the 4-way, and so you're watching 4 different sports.
Yes.
And I saw table tennis come on, and I'm watching how they're serving, and I'm like, is this a real sport? What is this? This can't be real. And by game 5, I'm like calling shots. I'm like, no, don't put the topspin on your serve. No, they're gonna expect it. It's crazy.
Oh my God, that is. You know what though? And that's why he's there, because it knows how to draw people in like that. Now you got me. I'm gonna have to go on YouTube and watch the
Dude, just watch the end of that match. I'll find a link for you and I'll send it to you. The last couple of relays of that match are insane.
I love it. I'm gonna watch it.
But anyway, back to Westeros.
Turn around, Vhagar. Turn around back to Westeros.
Yeah, Vhagar got to do some working out.
Yeah,
Vhagar's out there lying. Vhagar, when you can't get into the house,
yeah,
you need to work out a little bit.
Eat a little bit more greens. No more. I don't think Vhagar's the dragon eater one, but they be chomping on whatever. But yeah, you need to eat a little bit more greens. There's a lot of
that's a lot of red meat for you, and yeah, you need to chill out a little bit. Maybe you and Sunfire can kind of go on a program together.
I don't think Sunfire want to be with Vhagar.
Sunfire's doing strength training. You're doing cardio. Work it out.
I think Sunfire has a restraining order with Vhagar.
They need to work out. They need to work out their problems.
They sure do. They need to realize they are both on Team Green, and if they want a chance to win in this war, they got to put the differences aside. Sunfire, yes, Vhagar brought you to a crisp, but them other dragons are gonna come for both of y'all. So y'all need to put it to the side and make things work. And I can't believe I'm saying that being on Team Black, but they gotta make it work.
Yeah. And I know you're probably upset we didn't get a single minute of Sir Crispy.
Oh, how did you know, Mike? I was so devastated. I cried, and I was wondering whether he's going to show that crispy, annoying face of his. Clearly, I'm being sarcastic. I was quite happy, and they're also quite happy not to see Otto Hightower this season as well too. I do feel like that both of them are gonna. Well, we know for sure Crispy to be back based off of the trailers for the finale. But I feel like Otto Hightower might make even appearance with Daemon as well too. But yeah, I was very happy. And like I said, I don't know. I don't because I haven't. I stopped reading the books from where our Queen Renice, not Queen, Auntie Renice died. But I think based on what Crispy was saying in the trailer, he might be dying this episode. I'm expecting there has to be some type of death. Always some type of death in finales of these shows. So he might be the big death, and I think people are going to be rejoicing. I myself. So
I don't think so. I mean, it's possible.
It's probably yeah.
I am foreseeing another one.
Oh, okay. That's all.
That would be quite devastating. It's a matter of, and we can talk about this like kind of later after we throw the spoiler warning down. But you know they seem to be moving the pieces around as to what happens when. So you know it's pretty apparent that, you know, because we saw it in the trailer, it's pretty apparent that there's going to be like some action in King's Landing. There's some stuff that should happen before that. I don't think they're going to squeeze that all into one episode. So, but I think, yeah, I would imagine there's probably going to be at least one significant death before the end. But I don't know that it's going to be Sir Crispy.
Oh, man.
I kind of want him to go out the way he's supposed to go out.
Oh, okay. I don't know what that means, but okay, that must leave it like that. All right, but yeah, I definitely do. I feel like in definitely all Game of Thrones and even House of Dragons, there's always typically a major death. My favorite one, by the way, is Game of Thrones season 6, episode 10, Walder Frey at the hands of Arya. Spoiler alert on that for those who haven't watched Game of Thrones, but even with House of Dragon, we lost Viserys season 1. So I do expect
when they ask what happened here, tell them winter came for House Frey.
I tell you, when I'm sad or I'm like depressed, I replay that. I replay that, and also you're gonna yell at me too, Mike, because I'm forgetting the name of it. It's the same episode as well too. With Cersei, when she blows up the realm, blows up the
Sept. Yeah.
Yes. Oh man, that's peak television in my opinion. It's
my alarm in the morning that gets me up is that music.
Go say what's your alarm? Oh my god.
Remember so Justin and I went, what was it, it was after that season, right? So it was in between 6 and 7.
Yes.
Right? We went to Boston to see Ramin Djawadi conduct Game of Thrones live at the TD Garden in Boston. Yes. And when they did that piece, Winds of Winter piece, when they got to the end where like the Sept would have blown up, they took the whole arena, plunged into darkness, and then they set off like these immense green pyros over the place, and we were like, "Whoa!"
Oh my gosh! With the death from wildfire, I do remember that. That was crazy wild.
Yeah, that was a very good moment, and then Cersei just up there drinking her wine,
with a little smirk on her face. Oh man! And then Margie just figuring it all out, because Margie to me, as I'm rewatching Game of Thrones, and I'm thinking about Margie Tyrell, and she was such an amazing player of the Game of Thrones. So being the amazing player that she is, she figured all out. She said, "Oh, Cersei's not here, and she's supposed to be here. She's not expected to suffer these consequences." But it's too late.
She did not skip a beat after after Joffrey died, jumping in with Tommen. Like,
Oh my
she did
god!
not even miss a minute
You
of
know
waste
what's
time.
she was like, I think she was like that since the first moment she showed us the scene. Because going off what you said, I was watching the episode about how Varys and one of my all-time favorite characters, Olenna Tyrell, put two to two together, realized that Littlefinger was trying to take Sansa out of the out of King's Landing. So in order to keep him or keep her around, to have her marry Lawrence Tyrell. And then the next thing you see is that, Marjorie comes up to Sansa, asking her what she pray about. And she's like, she's connecting and bonding to her. And then she just throws it instantly. Like, you don't have to live in King's Landing. You can live in Hightower and visit whatever you want if you marry my brother and whatnot. I said, this girl is good. She got the assignment for her grandmother. She understood the assignment and went straight to business. It was remarkable. That's why I love these. That's why I love shows like this. I love when they have an agenda and how they can be so manipulative and so discreet and just the way they play the game is just amazing.
Yeah, and there was some game plan here.
Oh,
when
absolutely.
this whole little thing that Massaria had going on with
Over the small folks.
Just like just like gathering up like all these people and having her agents and her little spies and stuff, like just plant these little seeds and everything like that. And it was pretty funny with Ulf, because they were like, Ulf and his buddies are down there and they're like, oh look, yeah, they're getting Targaryens and they're getting them the boat. And he's like, well, I'm not sure,
Oh, now you're not sure. But previous episodes, you was supposed to like the best of them. Yeah, I'm gonna have Targaryen or whatnot. It's in my blood. But they said, where's all that fire and that tinder, man?
They're like, oh, the Dragonlord.
Yeah. Oh man, he kind of gets on my nerves, but I don't know. I'm like, I'm wishy-washy with Ulf. I'm like, really, man? He's the one that gets the dragon, but it's like he said, he didn't pick the dragon. The dragon picked him. The dragon must have saw something special at him.
Well, obviously, not quite sure what. He almost crushed one of her eggs, but hey,
yeah,
is what it is. But I think it was, if you look at the two of them, right? Hugh was like standing up to Verminthor, right?
Absolutely.
He's like, that, come on, where he's like, Verminthor was going after the woman, and he's like, I'm over here, come on, And I think, Verminthor was probably respected that.
You took the words out of my mouth, yeah.
And, when it comes to Ulf, Ulf was just kind of like supplicant and accepting. He didn't try to run. He didn't scream. He didn't cry. He just kind of laid down and was like, all right, do what you're going to do. Just make it quick.
Yeah. Make it a fast one.
Right. And for whatever reason that, connected to Silverwing.
Silverwing, all right, Silverwing, that's what you wanted. I mean, I would pick even Lord Darkwing, but he rest in peace, whatever his name was. Stephen Darkland. Yeah, but you gotta have that dragon blood in you, like you said. So I'm interested to see how. I don't know how you felt about it, but I thought it was kind of. I did feel it was kind of cheesy, although it did lead to my opinion, that scene beat the scene that I liked previously with being Alicent with that stare down. But I'm getting ahead of myself. But basically, all just automatically knowing how to fly, and not only know how to fly on Silverwing, but know how to fly around King's Landing, and you can basically be as a bait to lure Vhagar out for that. I'm like, okay, I don't know. because he literally what was the time since he bonded with the dragon, and for you to be doing all that, that was my only little gripe with it. But I do appreciate that it did lead up to, in my opinion, now the best scene of the season, perhaps even the series so far. I feel like this episode brought up two. The scene I'm first talking about is Rhaenyra walking up. She looks down. She keeps on walking. She's just staring hard at Aemon with the three dragons around her. And Aemon realizes he's messed himself up, so he got himself out of there. Which Auntie Renee should have did in her episode, but that's for another time. And then the second scene I'm thinking about is when they're in the dragon pit, and Rhaenys is calling out for Verminthor, and she turns around, and then you see him slowly show himself out of the shadow right behind her. I think that was amazing. That's definitely a dope screensaver. People should screenshot that and make that a screensaver on the phones.
Yeah, and both of those episodes, both of those shots you're talking about, gave me a lot of Daenerys vibe, right? There was one scene, with Daenerys and with Tyrion and the dragons. Drogon was behind her, and then but more than that was, that scene in just that first scene after the dragons hatched. After the temple of the Dashkaline and the fire, and she's there, and she's got the three dragons, and it's like I just had that same kind of vibe. It's like, this is power now,
Power. Whoa! I felt it was just. I'm sorry, y'all. As he was explaining that, I just felt it. I was like, yes, I can really connect, and that's why I love shows like this, because when you explain it like that and you just get that vision, it makes you have that feeling. Like, oh my gosh, they legit got power. They're about to be not only about to be about business, but they're about to take care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. So Alicent decides she wants to go camping.
She sure did. I mean, she got a lot of free time now,
She's got all her time for more domestic pursuits.
I love what you did there.
And yeah, so her and Sir Rickard head on to the Kingswood and go camping with the two tiniest tents I have ever seen in my life.
They are really small. I was just like, okay,
Now, Justin, you and I have been camping together many times.
Many times, Mike. Yes.
Have you ever? I can't even imagine that Sir Rickard would fit in that tent.
No.
He'd have his knees down, sticking out.
Absolutely. There's no way he was fitting into that, and there was just no way that he wanted to even be there at all. It was so last minute, so abrupt, so random. The look on his face, if he could be anywhere but there, he would have been there. He probably would have been in Harrenhal. He probably would have preferred to be Harrenhal than to be camping with Queen Alicent at that moment.
Yeah, seriously. And he's like, can't even bring any of his bros with him. He's got to kill his, cut that deer or boar or whatever he was cutting up by himself. And then she's like, yeah, I don't know if I ever want to go back. He's like,
why are you saying that to me?
But I live there.
Yeah. And if something happens to you and you don't go back, that's basically my head right there. Because you saw already what Aemon was doing towards Aegon's friends just for not properly protecting the queen and the queen consort. So
they're on their way to the wall.
Oh my God, that's priceless. That's wild. Oh man, but I really do believe that. Yeah, Alicent she was speaking some terms saying like, I don't think we can go back. I might kill myself. That's what I was getting on that. And I think he was picking up what she was throwing, and he was all like, "Girl, if this happens to you and you're under my watch, we both dead."
Yeah. Well, I mean, at that point, it's like you just don't go back.
Yeah, you don't. He probably been at Pentos. He probably got a ride with a group of people taking Rhaenyra's kids down to Pentos.
Yeah, she decides to go.
Eat, pray, love.
Yeah, she decides to go swimming and doesn't come back, and I'm not seeing him going back to King's Landing empty-handed.
Absolutely.
He's gonna have to just kind of be like, you know what? I'm gonna go off and I'm gonna go find Harold Westerling wherever he is.
Yeah, that seems like a good little journey for me.
And then the two of us just hang out because, yeah. But so she decides to take a little swim break, and I don't know. I don't know if this feels like she's trying to. What do you think this is? She's trying to cleanse herself of.
Yeah, I do.
Of her sins of basically starting this war because she's stupid.
She is very stupid. She's not like her father, but then she's probably pissed. There's a lot of things. For the very beginning, I feel like she feels like she never had full control of her life because she always did what her father said, and from there it's just snowballed to this crazy disaster that we have now. Like the sons that she did raise are complete a-holes. The daughter that she does have that's good, she felt like, this betrayal because she was able to protect her, her son, her grandson like that. You're in this current war. It doesn't look like it's winning on your side at the moment. So I think, and by the way, you just got fired from the job that anything that you was good at, you just got to let go of. So I think she's doing a lot of cleansing. I think she's trying to find herself. Now, I feel like those things were her identity. I think her being on the council was her identity. Now that she doesn't have that, she has to refine Alicent, if that makes sense, and see what that looks like.
Yeah, I think that's all probably really true. And I think it seemed to me like she came to some kind of resolve at the end of it.
Oh yeah.
Where, she's got a path forward. Maybe she's got an idea. I don't know what that is.
Yeah,
but...
me either. I think I said this to you before. I said it in the previous episode. And I think they kind of answered my question in this episode. But I feel like as of right now, her character arc is at its peak. Like, there's nothing really else for her to do, at this point. Like, she doesn't have the council. Aegon, who she thought was the Quantum Claim, is inactive at the moment. Aemon basically treats her as dirt. They had that connection with her and Rhaenyra that got turned down. Her husband's dead. Her father's gone. So I'm like, what are they gonna do with Alicent? And at the end of it, you say that she does play. She's literally the other half of this. She's the poster child for Team Green. So I think by her having that cleanse, I think it is a reset for her. I don't know. I'm still on it. Like, I don't know what they're gonna do, but they're probably gonna use her some way, some big way. I don't know, but I'm interested in seeing how her role, just in general, is gonna play out moving forward now, especially with season 3 and whatnot.
Yeah, and I don't really consider it a spoiler to say that, by the time we get to this point in the book, she's pretty much out, and they basically just lock her up and make her hold fast, and she doesn't really get out much, and she just kind of goes crazy.
Yeah,
that's not going to be what they do with this version of Alicent. So, I think she's got a lot left to do in this story that they're telling.
You know what? I don't. This is gonna sound weird. I don't see it right now, but I agree with you and I believe you. I just gotta see how they're gonna make it happen. Like, I believe it, but based off the evidence I see right now, I don't know what they're gonna do with it. But I do believe that she is gonna play a bigger part in the story to come. In some way or some fashion, she's gonna play.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think there's a couple things. Obviously, people are trying to use Aegon as a pawn.
Yeah.
in his condition.
Oh, we already know
You
who
know,
those people are. Let's just be real. We'll talk about you there, Lars.
Well, absolutely, but I think,
Oh.
Alicent maybe is going to be part of that as well.
Oh, wow.
And, Lars definitely wants him back on his feet.
Oh, absolutely.
Because if Aegon can get back on his feet, then,
Yeah.
Aemon is out. And Aemon is just interested in kind of keeping him down. And,
Yeah.
Orwell is just kind of in the middle of it.
That's my boy. I say everybody's my boy. He's my boy too, because he knows how to mind his business.
Lord, I'm minding my own business.
Lord, I'm minding my business. He really is. And he's keeping to himself. But he knows how to call things out, because he was saying, well, Loris, you're the one that's telling me to make him move around, make him stretch and all this stuff. He's out his limit. Like the man needs to rest. And he's like, nah, he needs to keep on moving. He's like, you know what? I'm not getting paid enough for this.
Yeah, well, that was Laris putting on a show for Aegon, but then he gets him over in the corner, and he's like, you need to get him up again.
Yeah,
you need to get him. This guy needs to get up and needs to get going. No, he's not going to get to rest.
Yeah,
he doesn't get to rest. And I think I mentioned it before. In the book, like Aegon disappears for like a year, and they're definitely not going to be doing that. They're definitely. They're playing really fast and loose with time. Like you never really know how long it is
right,
for anything to happen. Like we don't know, like you mentioned before about Ulf being on the dragon and flying over King's Landing.
Yeah, in the show.
Like we don't know how long it's been from the Red Sowing to that moment,
That is true.
Could have been the next day, could have been a week, maybe they were having some flying lessons, who knows? And I think the time is compressed in the show, but I think it's not so compressed in what they're showing. Like I think it's taking longer. Things that we see are taking that looks like they're happening the next day, or maybe weeks or even months apart.
Right. Yeah, I hope you're right, man, because I feel like that was a big thing that really messed up Game of Thrones towards the end, the last 2 seasons. And that's something I don't want to see here in House of Dragon, because we got the source material, we have everything. I don't know why you cut it down from 10 episodes to 8, but I feel like you definitely take your time and process it. You already proved it. They already proved it with Daemon and being a Harrenhal. He's been in literally the whole season. And also shout out to you, Mike, for sending me that meme of the dragon flying back to Harrenhal, and you say she's going to pick up her man. He's been out in the bar too late. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, I just won't. That whole scene going back to Ulf just automatically, you have one scene of him finally bonding with the dragon, and the next scene you see him flying over King's Landing. Like that just, to me, spacing wise, just doesn't make sense. But I hope they learn from this and they even move in the next direction, that they take their time. You know what I mean? They really show how this thing is, so they can pay off better. Like I can believe him being in King's Landing, but you just can't rush the process, if that makes sense.
It does, but they always, and even in Game of Thrones, they always played fast and loose with like travel times and
not in the beginning of Game of Thrones, like the first 5 seasons, like Arya traveling with Gendry and Hot Pie, you know what I mean, or Arya and Harrenhal. That was like a whole season, and then you see a lot of character development, a lot of interactions. Then you fast forward to now, like season 7, she's in the River Run, or where the Freys are.
Yeah, and that's what I mean by that. It's like, okay, so it's
I'm not a fan of.
It's 1,500 miles from Winterfell to King's Landing, and it's another 600 miles to the Wall from Winterfell. And in the beginning, they made it seem like that this like you said, like, Arya and the Hound going from the inn to the Eyrie was like the whole season.
The whole season.
And, but you get to the end, and like Jamie going from King's Landing to Winterfell, it was like he went overnight.
And I'm just like, what is going on here?
And there's some of that in the books as well. Like George Martin always was like, look, I'm not this like technical stickler about distances and things. It's whatever works best for the story. Like this stupid Lannister army has been on the march like all season. Where are these guys? Where are these guys?
They're waiting for Aemon to come with his dragon.
Maybe, like we've seen in the trailer, like the Riverlords are there next week. The whole army's there.
Yeah.
Where are these freaking Lannisters, man? What's going on with these guys?
Maybe pull up. Come on, that's always pays the debts. Time to start paying.
Face up, man. The High Towers are going to do better than you.
Yeah, I know. That's embarrassing. Because
you guys got the lions. What's up going on?
And you really got the lion. So we've seen that lion in that cage. Come on, let's pick things up a little bit. Haste.
Yeah. So we got 1 week left, and then long pause.
Oh man, I don't know why I'm laughing. That's I don't call it the long pause, Mike. I call it the long night.
It is the long night.
Oh man, I that's the one thing about these shows, man. They leave off at such a high note, and we gotta wait 2 years. As that disconnect within the 2 years and try to get a reconnect. I'm just not looking forward to it, and it makes me want to read the book. But I like not knowing what's happening in that real shock factor. Like, oh my gosh, I was not expecting that to happen and whatnot. But then again, I'm so desperate. I want to know what's going to happen for real. I want to know now.
Yeah. So, they're not really sticking to the book. So it's tough to even say what's going to happen, what's not going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly there's going to be some, well, I mean, based on what we've seen in the trailer, right? The Riverlords, the armies are there. You see Daemon looking over the army. You see Rhaenyra arriving in Harrenhal.
Yeah, that's what
with on Syrax with at least one more dragon.
Oh, that's gonna be interesting.
And you see, Kristen Cole's on the march. She's all worried about the dragons. You see the High Towers are on the march with the dragon. You see Thailand not getting treated very well by the pirates.
Oh, yeah. That's going to be crazy. I wonder how long this episode is going to be, because that's a lot of stuff happening.
It's going to be about the length of this episode, maybe actually a minute shorter.
All right. An hour, 6 minutes?
Yeah, something like that.
I just don't know how you're going to put all that into that type of time. But, can't complain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God, I can't even predict, because it could go one of two ways. They could do the Battle of the Gullet. Oh, that'd be a rough way to end the season.
You're scaring me by saying that. Okay.
Oh, that'd be a really rough way to end the season. Or maybe they do, I don't know, maybe they start the fall of King's Landing.
Something's going to happen. I just know that much.
Something's going to happen.
Fire and blood will be happening. For sure. and I'll be here to watch it. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's man. I don't know. It's a tough call. We got to wait for that midweek trailer, and it's probably dropped tomorrow, and maybe it'll have
some additional,
a little more,
yeah,
a little more context. They always, like Wednesday, they always drop the longer episode trailer.
Yeah, they do.
And it's like, oh man, they're doing that. They're doing that.
They probably want to keep it a surprise, even for those who read the books. Like in regards to the finale, they want to make it. I'm assuming they probably want to make it so shocking that people are gonna be talking about it for a few days after it's run. And I think you might be right. Excuse me. In the fact that they might change it up from the books, so that people can't just automatically guess it, because if you know based off the books, then that surprise factor is gonna kind of be dull or whatnot. But I feel they might change it actual from the books, just so that way people can have like, oh my gosh, I really was not expecting that. I mean, anything can happen when it comes to the show, so who knows?
That's true. Yeah, and they are, they're telling their own story. They're using the book and the characters as kind of guidelines, but they're definitely telling their own story, and I love that about it. I love the fact that I don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
There were times like watching like Game of Thrones where it was interesting because if you were a book reader, like you knew the Red Wedding was coming, and so you like kind of you wanted to see how they did it, and you were like waiting for people's reactions, and but then they would change enough that certain things would be different, and you'd still be surprised, and blah 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 blah. And that's kind of what they're doing here. It's like they're changing it enough. Like there are certain beats they're going to have to hit, but the order in which they hit them is maybe going to be a little different. And that way you get blindsided. You're like, oh, this person's going to get it, and you're like, oh, this person's going to be the next person to get it, and then they're not. So that when they do get it, you're kind of hit by it. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat with you as well too. I love that, and it's a true, genuine treat for everyone involved. Right? Like you said, whether you read the books or you're just a TV lover of it, they make those connections for that, and it's I'm just like I said, I'm going into this new episode not knowing a thing really, not knowing what's going to take place. I mean, even in terms, I'm a little bit. I was cautious in terms of even the trailers that they're bringing out too, because I just want to go in there not expecting anything or whatnot. I do have, like I said, I just shared earlier tonight some of my theories and some of my predictions, but honestly, I really don't know what's gonna happen. I don't know. So if stuff does happen that I did say in my theories, my bad. That's not a spoiler. That was just me taking a guess based off the evidence that they provided us.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. We're just guessing at this point.
Mm-hmm. We should get a chart. We should get a chart in one of our groups that we're in, Mike, to see what are your expectations, what are your thoughts on it, or what's gonna happen for episode 8. I'm curious to hear what other people have to say before the episode starts, and see what they say, what their guesses are.
Yeah, it's good. We could do that. Put a poll or something in.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my throat's pretty much shot, so I think maybe we'll wrap it up a little early this time, because I'm sure we'll have a lot to talk about next week.
Oh, absolutely. I'm already excited. I'm excited for the episode to watch on Sunday, but I'm also excited for next week because, like you said, we're going to have a lot to talk about. And I know my reaction. I'm already trying to pick up my jaw from the future right now.
All right, so that'll be it for this week, and we will definitely be reconvening the small council next week after whatever happens.
Yeah.
Because it is, I'm sure, we'll be picking our jaws up off the ground because they have not really disappointed yet.
No, they sure haven't.
All right, folks, thanks, and we will see you next week.
See you guys.